Oh my god, you were so far away. And I kept laughing, so I'd have to put myself on mute because she would just sit there silently while I was like, I would have to take breaks to mentally prepare
We just
myself.
now got to my DC trip.
Oh my god. To mentally prepare myself and be like, Mildred? Like, it was so funny. But yeah, that's my old grandma voice that I use for prank calls. Me and Reagan, when we go to each other's houses. Oh my god.
Our group, we talk way too much in this group chat.
What's funny is it's only 3 of us.
No, there's 4 of us.
Reagan never gets on there, though.
Oh, yeah, true.
She goes, I'll be like, did you see that thing in the group chat? And she's like, no, I don't check.
No, it's in my 200 messages I haven't read yet.
Good night, love you. Paige is going to bed.
Good night.
Where are you looking?
I can't find. I don't know what this password is.
I don't know where you find that. Google where you find it. Google's your friend.
Imagine this is like in the trio chat and not this chat.
It's not in the trio chat. Because I remember was like, oh yeah, I was getting calls too. Wait, hold on, go down. Is this the Good Girls skit? Oh my god. Yes, that was when I got the 5 survive. That's not authors. She's trying to download Roblox. So we can play horror games and Brooke can throw her phone across the room again.
That's not funny.
Are you calling your mom?
Yes.
Okay.
I need her wise wits.
Why'd you were in her mom's house?
Mommy.
Oh my god. The stuff we talk about in here.
This is the most random stuff ever.
Yeah, like what?
This is why we need a podcast.
We're so interesting, especially right now.
Somebody's sending hearts.
This is so dumb.
No.
Do I pop up every which one? I don't really get back to the group chat, but I hope you know I do read it. Is Matthew back on?
Yeah, I started making these and I never finished them. Oh wait, no, I did. You know, those were for the seniors.
And that was when I was getting ready for formal when I watched the Aerostorm movie and finished the whole thing by the time I got
Rizzy
back.
Lizzy.
Was that on there?
It was whenever she sent her chat. Or her, her
there's also another
volume,
inside joke. So my middle name is Elizabeth. And my parents, I was like, when I get older, so I get mistaken for a guy a lot if you just look at my name, because I have a gender neutral name, but more guys.
I've witnessed it.
Oh yeah, I've literally gone to a speech competition. They were like, Mr. Aiden Shamley? Not Mr. So then I was like, what if I went to college and I just started randomly going by like Liz or Lizzie for my middle name? My grandma did that. Well, her middle name's not that, but like she went by
Oh my
her
gosh,
middle
this
name.
is whenever I sent all the pictures from 3rd grade.
Oh my gosh.
No, that was one time. And then you started sending pictures of me from middle school and I was like, no.
Who can play that game? Well, anyways.
Look at this.
Oh, that was from Reagan.
I was like, oh. Ooh. The day we met. Can I show this?
Yes, you can show the day we met.
This is the day
Don't
we
let it turn off my
met.
comments.
Look.
Don't show it for too long. You're gonna get my comments.
Sorry. That's the day we became friends. Not the day we met. The day we became friends.
And then from that point, oh my god, from that point forward, we're in a ton of photos together.
Yeah, literally. So like our, look, there it is. Okay, wait, hold up.
She found it.
Your dad.
My dad. Oh yeah, I made sure to show that I was in the car.
No, you texted first. Amelia said, guys, some lady keeps calling me Mildred. And I said, same, in all caps. And she said, who is she? And I said, are you being for real? She said, yeah. And I said, is it you calling me? Because I knew. And then you said no. And I said, Aiden. Oh, I mean, Amelia. And she said, I'm being serious. And I said, I can't even call them back. It won't let me. And then I said, my brother says there's probably somebody prank calling me.
No, wait.
Oh, wait. And then you said,
I said, I've been out running errands. I'll read my parts.
Okay.
I've been out running errands with my dad.
My brother said it was probably somebody just pranking me.
And I sent a photo. You can show the photo. This is my proof. Even though I was just heading home because he was picking me up from Reagan's.
And then I sent the voicemail. She sent the voicemail. I sent another voicemail. And I said, I had the same one.
yeah, sorry.
They won't call me again, and I can't answer. I want to know who it is.
Meanwhile, me and Reagan are privately messaging about this subject, and I sent a crying emoji, laughing emoji, and then
I said, "Who is this?"
and
all caps.
I said, no clue, but I want to know. Let me know if she calls you again.
And I said, "KK."
And then our friend Riley, I'll read Riley's part. I got 5 or 6 calls from an unknown ID, and I tried to call back, but I couldn't. I wonder if it's the same person.
I said, "It probably is. It is no caller ID. It is a person we know who's pranking us, and you can't call back a no caller
Didn't you
ID."
accuse
Reagan
goes,
I got like
I got
two
like 2 calls, but that's it.
And I said, I literally got like 13.
And then Reagan goes, oh my god. And I go, oh my gosh. You only...
Look,
wait,
this is
I
how
only
many
got, like,
times
5.
she called me.
We really needed someone to answer, and our gullible friend wasn't answering. Then I said, oh my gosh, in all caps. And then
I said, who is it? In all
and then
caps.
I said, no clue.
And then I was like, we're not even friends with anybody else who has all of our numbers.
And then Reagan goes, that's insane. And then that's how we ended that conversation.
This is when I went down the water slide. Look at this. This is me going down a water slide in 3rd grade. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Who is that? Oh, it's the cat girl.
Well, she goes to Huntington now, and... Well,
Oh, wait, what? She goes to a school now?
yeah. Sorry, that's like what we call them. It's like weird nickname. And basically, I ran into her at a track meet in middle school. She was like, "Oh
did
my god!"
volleyball.
Yeah, she was like, "Well, she also did track at some point." And she ran into me at the track meet. Was like, "Oh my
Ran
god,
into you
hi
at track meet.
Amelia, I missed you so much." Just because I was nice doesn't mean you come say hi to me, okay? I just never wanted to
She
be
scared
rude to
me.
anyone. She actually really liked me, but I think it's just because I was nice to everyone. I have a lot of people who people like hate because we have those twins. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking
Oh
about.
my gosh.
The only twins that we don't like. We have a lot of twin girls on
We
our
know a lot of
grade.
twins, but we're talking about the ones we don't like.
Mhm.
And they're in FFA with me, and
There's
literally...
4 sets of twin girls on our grade.
Oh my god, you're right. And basically, okay, so this girl, we were on the same FFA team, because I do track and everything. She comes and sits by me at one point. I was just charging my phone. What?
Whose are these?
Mine. Matthew gave them to me, and y'all have eaten them all. I had the first package, so it's okay. Yeah, well, basically, she comes and sits by me, and she's like, I just want to let you know, I love you so much, and you're literally the sweetest person. I was like, what?
Wait, the twin girl? Or cat girl?
Twin girl. The one that has red hair.
Gotcha.
That more people don't like. I've already mentioned my chapter connecting team. We have ex friend who is also has that person as an ex. That friend's now ex used to be boyfriend. A girl who used to flirt with my ex.
Wait, are we talking about purple?
Purple. Yes.
Gotcha.
Purple is my nickname for my ex because I don't name drop him because I don't have necessarily anything bad to say about him.
Guys, my Roblox won't work.
Is it because
I
you're
wanted to
fun?
play Dress to Impress. I'm honestly pretty good at that game.
I haven't played Just to Impress in the
Oh,
longest
wait a
time.
second.
Okay, so yeah, chapter connecting team.
I will
And
return.
Matthew, you know one person on my chapter connecting team. They're in the same.
Wait,
grade
you
as
called your mom? She's literally...
Yeah, earlier I go, are you calling your mom? And she goes,
I
yeah?
didn't put two... I thought we were at your house. I
Nope.
was like, oh, she's just calling her mom. And then I was like... Then she
Nope.
just said that, and I was like, wait.
Okay, well, Matthew, you know the other girl. She's in your 4-H, and she helped you out with, like, spring show and stuff. You know who I'm talking about. Well, me, her, we both dated the same guy. Her boyfriend at the time. Now they're exes. Another girl who was never there and, like, ruined our whole team, ruined our chances at area, who also used to flirt with my ex.
Wait, you're talking about
Purple. is
Purple
next.
and other baseball guy?
No.
No.
Not the one she was with
that guy.
FFA guy that was on our chapter
Yeah.
connecting team.
Gotcha.
So that guy. Then we have our vice president. You know who I'm talking about. Alicia. Who like ruined our chances at area and like screwed everything up. You just steal
No,
someone's...
I do not know.
She was like our vice president, never showed up to practice and like ruined area for all of us.
Alicia?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know who she is.
Can I?
Her used to... Oh, okay, yeah. Also, and then we have our president, who I absolutely love and still love her. She's amazing. And then we had the twins.
Let this charge for a moment,
And
and then we
so
can play our scary game.
That was our chapter connecting, but
It's
ex
charging,
Purple is moving to Florida because his mom.
Really?
Yes, his mom
Yeah, he's
has been
moving to
dating a
Florida.
guy for a
Really?
while, and now they're
I did
getting
not know
married.
that.
And the guy got a job in Florida, so she's moving out there with him, with Purple,
Oh
his
my
younger brother.
gosh. He does not seem like a Florida guy.
No, and Purple's the girl he was dating earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Pink?
No.
What's pink?
Oh, yeah.
Not Pink.
Pink is,
Pink.
our sister on the dance team's
Younger
actual
sister.
sister.
Yeah, okay. Well, basically, yeah. Well, his girlfriend from the other school basically broke up with him because she wanted to just go ahead and get it over with since he was moving, and she didn't want to handle long distance.
How long were they together? I didn't know they were still together. That
Pretty long time. Longer than the other girls, considering he dated 5 girls after me in 1 year.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And I was the longest.
I remember we kept checking his bureau.
Oh my god. Oh my
It said
god.
something new every time. New initial.
Or, on the phone with my girl. Wait,
Yeah,
you
I'm
know
taken.
what?
Girl, you're so
Yeah, I'm
nice.
taken.
No, the
taking
random
my
one he-
fat
it
butt
was
to
the- that was-
McDonald's. You remember when we
Yes.
It
It was like the random one he dated during the summer for like a week. And then they broke up. And then it was rumored that 4-H friend apparently and him got back together, apparently, so since Audrey. During
I
the
don't
summer.
think that happened.
Apparently,
Oh,
she
that's-
told Audrey
Gotcha.
that they got together for a day, and before she went, you know what, never mind.
Yeah, I don't think that happened.
I don't know. I'm just hearing that from a second perspective, so I don't know if it's true. I don't think it's true, though. It doesn't sound true, but that's just what I've heard.
And I have no. I don't know any of this.
I
I mean, I knew it, but I don't have any.
Guys, do y'all have scary Roblox game recommendations?
the comments are off. I'll have to go.
None.
Well, yeah. Basically, Purple did not talk to me for a whole year after I broke up with him.
I was there at the breakup.
Oh, yeah, she was. And,
I was back
oh
up.
my god, it was so bad. Okay, so I didn't want to do it over text. And I didn't have any time to do it after school, but I could not stay in this anymore. It was unhealthy. It was getting between friendships. It was so bad, and I needed out. So I pulled him aside during lunch, and I pulled him to a corner. I made sure it was off to the side.
We sat at a different table that
Yes.
day.
So we sat at a different table. I sent her and our other friend that used to sit with me last year. Apparently they did get back together. According to Matthew. At the beginning of the year.
Did they really?
Apparently so.
Wait, ask him.
One second. I didn't read that whole text message, but what do you want to ask him?
If he knows.
Do you know the guy I'm talking about?
Wait.
When I refer
They're not
to...
Mexican.
He's not Mexican. He just...
That's what we call him.
We do call... Well, his cousin calls him Ghetto Mexican because of his
Oh.
mustache.
Yeah, that's why I
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, you're the one who got him.
I think everyone calls him that. I call him Purple because of an inside joke from way back when we used to be friends and then we screwed that all up. Yeah, well, basically, I pulled him to the
Remember
side.
it was this?
The sign language. I like the colors. They're so much easier.
Jello.
They're so much easier. Okay, well, basically, I send her, Brooke, and my other friend, and I send them and I tell them, go to the bathroom, go get in line, leave. So I made sure it was less embarrassing. I thought this through. And that's just when we can have our phones in school.
You say your perspective and then I'll say my perspective.
So I text him. I don't know much about him. I know when she she told him to, hold up. She told him to get,
What?
She told him to get
Get
all of
back
his crap
together
out of his
in
car.
gear, or maybe this was a different guy. I don't know. I don't know much about him. I know when she broke up with him, she told him to get all his crap out of her car.
Those cakes.
That was Kate. Ooh.
Ooh.
Wrong guy. That's other guy.
Yeah, she.
My
she
ex.
put all.
You probably
She
know
put
him.
all of his stuff in a
Actually.
shoebox and duct taped it and gave it to his teacher.
Period.
Pop off, I guess.
She got that duct tape on her car still.
She's like y'all's sister in dance with the random always having
Yes.
duct tape in her car. Every time our dance director will
She's
go.
like, I got duct tape.
No, every time our dance director will go, anyone have tape? She always goes, I have duct tape in my car. Why? Okay, well, back to my story of my ex and why I broke up. So I broke up with him because he couldn't communicate, but I felt bad. I didn't want to tell him that it was his fault. Because I really didn't want to hurt him. And I knew it was
It
going
was
to.
very like one-sided.
I understand this. Sorry.
Okay, so basically I was gonna turn it on me, say it was my fault, knowing that it was gonna affect my reputation around school. It was gonna basically like ruin my like any sort of romantic life I would have had at our school. And so basically I pull him aside and I go and I tell him, I said, I feel like now I'm realizing I wasn't ready for this and I wasn't ready for a full-blown relationship. Lies, but you know, it's okay. So I told him this, blamed it all on me, and he stands there, and we stand there in silence, and it's the most awkward thing ever, and he starts crying, and I feel awful, but I don't know what
Amelia
to
on the
say,
heartbreak.
and I'm looking at the front of the cafeteria, and there's Brooke and my other friend, and they're going,
Here, wait. Can I tell my
yes,
perspective?
okay, tell your
really quick?
perspective real quick.
Up to this point, so like she said, me and the other friend, we go away. That way, like this can wrap up and whatever. And
I was
so
expecting this to be quick, by the way,
yeah, and we had our phones last year, and so she just texted him.
to come over.
Yeah, like, hey, can you come over here real quick? So we get up and leave. We go into the bathroom, I think, and we just
And
like
no way,
stand in
you
there
got
for a
those
while.
cookies that
Then
you
we
used to get in
come,
line.
yeah, and we used to get cookies in line, and like our cafeteria is not like huge, but it's definitely like it's bigger,
It's
but
pretty
like
big.
yeah. And so we were just walking up in the front of the cafeteria, back and forth, and we kept looking, and he was still standing there.
We're in
And
this
so,
awkward silence.
and so
and
like
he's
I was
just
like,
crying.
yeah, and so I make eye contact with Amelia, and I'm like.
So I turned to them and I
she had her
yelled at them because
hands-
he can't see my face, and I went, I'm trying.
She had her hands over the under the table and was like this, like.
I was with my jeans. I was messing with
Yeah,
like
she was
I had like a
messing with
hole
the
in my
fringe,
jeans, so I was
yeah.
messing with the fringe on my jeans because when I get
And you were
nervous, I do
like
that.
under the table, you're like.
Yeah, I was like. So then finally, after he stands there for a good 10 to 15 minutes, I think 10, I finally go, well, me and my friends really need to eat lunch, so if there's anything else you need to say it now. Well, he says no. So he gets up and leaves, and this is the worst part. He sits at a table with his friends, he grabs his tray of food and moves tables to where he's not facing me,
Bro, I
and his
would've
whole
literally-
lunch table gets up. But that's not the worst. It gets better. A girl on the senior volleyball team posts on her Snapchat story a
Oh,
video
that-
of him. Yes.
She did that.
Yes, I found this out from ex-best friend.
Oh.
And when
Sorry.
basically I find this out next class period. This was a whole ordeal. It went so around school. It was so bad.
Can I say another
Basically,
thing
after
you're
yeah.
done?
Basically, this girl on our senior, like as a senior, and is on our varsity volleyball team, posts on her Snapchat story, imagine crying because your girlfriend broke up with you, and I felt so bad. And the whole school knew about it, and I have the next class period with him. And every single guy in that classroom that knows him comes up to me and it's like,
He was in my class, the next class, right? And he sat across
actually, no,
from
we
me.
need to go back to that.
Yeah.
You go back to this story.
Okay, wait. Can I also say how the cafeteria was silent and like
Yes.
Emily?
And
Okay.
everyone came up to me
Yeah.
afterwards that knew me, and like dancers and like people,
Mhm.
they were like, "What happened? What happened? Are you
No,
okay?"
no,
And I
no.
went, "I'm fine.
No,
He
finally.
won't be okay for a very long time."
Okay, wait, back to me and my other friend. So whenever we were like, okay, this isn't gonna wrap up, we're gonna go back and sit down, and he's just gonna leave.
Yeah,
whatever.
it's worse. Just too
And
late.
yeah, just wait. So we go back and sit down or whatever, and finally he like side hugs, like here, wait, sit.
It was.
Here, wait,
Here, I
wait.
was sitting down. He was standing up. So wait.
Yeah, she's him and I'm her.
And he's just standing here like this.
Yeah, and he's like,
So then finally.
and then she's like,
we
this,
come
like,
to a mutual agreement. I thought we were good. So then he like I stand up and we just like mutual agreement,
Mhm.
like end the
Just, like-
relationship, basically like awkward. And he gets up and walks off. But it's kind of giving that breakout
Oh,
outro, you
yes.
know, where they're like
Mhm.
they're like woo.
No,
and then
wait.
they like
No, but okay, so our cafeteria is kind of like split dead center, like in half, and our whole half of the cafeteria went dead silent. Like right before he walked away, right before they hugged, like went dead silent. He walks away and like obviously he's like crying a bit, and
not just
this,
a bit.
And this girl who not gonna name out, she goes
Which one?
the short
Oh, I know what you're talking
cheerleader,
about.
short cheerleader. She's
She was in my
very
class.
loud, and she goes like it's dead silent. She goes, Amelia, really loud.
Why'd you do that? And
She said, you did not.
And I pull her aside and I go, get over here. And I go, look, you don't know the whole story, but our relationship is not as perfect as everyone said it was. And then my other friend, who was also in my class, it was like my close friend, the one that I told you that we started calling Miss Wise, Miss Wizzle, that friend, she goes, are you okay? And I was like, I'm fine. He won't be okay for a very long time. And then dancers start coming up to me, and they're like, and they come up like amused. They like came up, and they're like, oh my god, did you just like break up with your boyfriend?
And she was like, yeah.
I was like, yeah.
She's like, I'm single.
I'm free.
You said that. You're like, guys, I'm single now.
Then I stayed single for a very long time. It's fine. Well, anyways, okay, so tell your story. After lunch, we had like B lunch, which is in the middle of fourth period.
Oh, wait.
So we have to go back to class. So I go back to my livestock class.
I go back to my class, which he is in, and he sat right, like, it was like this big, like, rectangle table, and he sat on the, like, the opposite side. And, like, he was there, and, like, he had his head down or something for a second, and then he gets up to go to the bathroom, and he doesn't come back the rest of the period.
Okay, so now let me tell you what he did. So he apparently went to the bathroom, and I think he called his mom. He was a mama's boy. I love his mom.
No, that's okay. I would do that too. Like, Mom.
I would call my mom too.
I'd email my mom.
I emailed my mom today about not being able to do district speech, so I can't say anything. Well, basically, he calls his mom, I think, on the phone, which is understandable. And I love his mom. His mom still donates for all of my fundraisers for dance. Clearly, I'm just so loved, guys. Well,
and
anyways.
also, like, this isn't really important, but, like, my neighbor that we, like, he car hopped with us every day was his best friend. So,
yeah, okay.
I got some information.
Yeah. Well, anyways, apparently after he went to the bathroom, he went to the front office and got a pass to come to my classroom. So I'm in Miss Y.
Why did they let him do that?
I think just because you can.
Ag barn away from
Ag
the
barn.
main high school
It's
building.
away from our main campus. Well, Miss Wise does not. Everyone, when we came back. Okay, let me tell you what happened when we come back into livestock. I come back into livestock, and Miss Wise walks in. Everyone goes. I had a very small class. Everyone goes, "Oh my God, Miss Wise, Aiden just broke up with her boyfriend." So Miss Wise is interested. I tell Miss Wise the story, and I say his name, but she's not processing that it's the same guy that's on her junior chapter conducting team. So he walks to the classroom, and her classroom has a big window, the old one. And I sit in the middle of the room, and you could clearly see where I was. I could not go hide if I wanted to. And so she thinks he's there to just talk about junior chapter conducting because he was their president, because he only did chapter conducting because of me. Well, basically, he walks in, and he goes, "Hey, can I talk to Aiden for a second?"
Amelia.
That's my middle name, by the way. Miss Wise turns to me and goes, "Hey, so he's here to talk to you." And everyone stops and it's dead silent. And next thing I knew, my friend that we call Miss Wise, Miss Whistle, goes, "Leave the door cracked." So I
In case
go
this gets
outside,
messy.
and I leave the door cracked on purpose because they are all listening. Even Miss Wise. This was deemed last year in my livestock class the most interesting thing that happened all year. So I go outside.
It's giving like Scooby-Doo with like the heads from the
And
corner.
he starts asking me, "Why weren't you ready after 6 months?" And I went, "Well, we didn't really do anything in
First of
the
all,
first
this is like
6
eighth
months."
grade.
I went, "Well, we didn't really do anything in the first 6 months. You took me to a dance. We went to the movies. We didn't do anything."
That was it.
And then he had asked me like a few weeks before, he was like, "Can we like take our relationship to another level?" And I was basically like, I think that was my kind of like, you know what, maybe he's not the one I want. Nothing wrong with him, he just wasn't what I wanted, what I needed. So then afterwards, I was explaining it to him, and I'm like, trying to stay calm and professional. He starts crying again. And I feel terrible right now. I feel like an awful person.
Oh, we need to do that.
And
Wait,
it gets worse.
do the
I'm
hand
sitting
thing.
there standing awkwardly like this, and
Oh wait, and
Brooke's about to
he
do
was
what he
like,
did.
wait, what did he say?
He didn't say anything.
He's like, I
He
want to
just-
make this work or something
No,
like that.
he didn't say anything. He
Oh,
didn't say
he
anything.
didn't?
He just like mid-conversation
He's like-
holds out his hand, like offering me to take it. I had my hands to my side, and I went. And held my own
And he was
hand.
like, no, and he was like this.
Yeah, he held it out and went.
Yeah.
And so then finally, I'm like, well, class is gonna end in 5 minutes, and I need to go back inside and get my things. So he goes, okay, and we left at that. And then I walked back inside. The whole classroom is listening, and that is still today deemed the most interesting thing that's ever happened in a Miss Wise's livestock class.
I said another thing.
Yes.
So I think, didn't he like leave school after that? No, it was either like.
It's okay. I still have more of the story because then I have 5th
But
period
it
with
was
him.
yeah. But it was also, I think it was like the next day, I think it was the next day. He had like a cross country meet or something, so he wasn't there. But we had
Before area for cross country.
yeah, and we
Regionals technically. Sorry.
and so he's also from Spanish. Our next class, which is 5th period, he was also my biology class, and we had a project. And
tell that after.
Okay.
I have still 5th period.
Gotcha.
Same day. I go to 5th period, and he's in that class. This is the only class I had with him, which was my English.
No, he was in my
class.
5th period.
No, he's in mine. Y'all had biology 6th period.
No, I had biology
Wait.
5th period.
Never mind. This was 5th period, but this wasn't the same day. He
Okay.
didn't say the same day.
Okay.
I had him 6th period English.
Gotcha.
And everyone at the school has already known what has happened, either from that Snap story, or they
The dead
heard
silence
around-
at lunch.
or it went around lunch really, really quickly, as rumors do. And so I have a ton of people not coming up to him, coming up to me, and every guy in that class that knows him is supposed to be like an acquaintance or friend. The guys come up to me and they immediately start going, why did you do that? Why did you break up with him? And I immediately was like, oh my God, he's in the room. And I told them all, I said, go sit down. He's in the room. Like, rude. Like, so rude. And so then I said, if you really want to know, email me or text me afterwards. And then none of them did. So they literally just wanted in the moment. So basically that was like really awkward. And I'm so glad she never sat me at a table with him. But I think it's because she knew how awkward it was. And yeah, that class was awkward for like the whole rest of the year. And yeah, okay, you tell. Few days or weeks later, there's a project in their biology class.
Yeah, no, it was literally, I think it was the next day or something.
Oh, yes.
And so we had a project for biology. And at first, she had us assigned with partners, and she put it on the board. She's like, at first I was going to assign you with these partners. She assigned me with his ex. And then she's like,
His
but you
ex?
guys, or her ex. And lost my train of thought. Oh, and
I know
she was
where
like,
it's going.
she's like, but I think I changed my mind. You guys can pick your partners. And I was like, God, because it was like a stop motion picture project or something.
Oh,
and,
I remember that.
and I was like,
I wasn't at school.
I was like, oh my gosh, like that was like dodged a bullet. And also, back to like the same day, the other friend who I went up to the front of the cafeteria with, she was also in the Spanish class. So whenever we got back to Spanish, like we all got there like pretty like early back to Spanish because like we didn't have a far walk. And so like it was like so awkward because we were there early and it was like he was sitting down and then me and my friend, we were trying to like just talk and
I have,
not look awkward.
I have another story after, and I think this leads up to what you're about to say. So you say what you're about to say, and I'll say what probably led up to him saying this.
What am I going to say?
Aren't you about to tell the story about how he was like, that's Ballister that told that story.
No, that wasn't me.
Okay. Well, same biology class. Ballister, they were working on a different group project. I don't remember. But she was paired in a group with, or she was near a group with my ex, a friend of his.
I'm power napping.
Okay, yeah, you better
I just
like
making
not
sure
fall asleep
you're,
on the
like,
air mattress
good.
on the bed.
Oh yeah, no.
Not like
I'm
left
not going
out.
to sleep.
I-
I'm just waiting until y'all are like
Paige.
done with your live or whatever.
I am there.
We're almost done.
Okay,
No, you're fine. I'm power
basically,
napping. Let me power nap for 10 more minutes, and then we can get over.
Okay.
basically,
We can yap for 10
Or
minutes.
I will crash.
my friend overhears him telling this guy, oh, I didn't even want her anyways. I was gonna break up with her soon anyways.
Lies.
Lies.
Sorry, you were
Then why'd you
lying.
cry?
Okay, well, I think I know what led up to him saying that, because after we broke up, he was really rude. Said some not so nice things, ruined a lot of nights for me, and eventually I blocked him. But basically, I know who said it too. Friend that we used to sit at lunch, and I'm not mad at this person anymore. I was very frustrated when I found out. She went and told,
What did she say again?
you know my real reasoning of why I broke up with him? Well, when redhead twin that we don't like,
Yeah.
who lives for drama,
Mm-hmm.
texted her and asked her why I broke up with him, and she told, and friend we said it at lunch, told twin my real reason, and twin
What
went,
is the real reason again?
because he never communicated
yeah.
with me other than
Yeah.
over text, and I felt like I was talking to myself, and there was not real communication there for me to continue going.
Oh, can I also? Whenever they would sit together, like before this all happened,
I used
she
to sit
sat
with
with
him
him at lunch
sometimes,
and it was like just them at the table whenever it was. And me and the other friends sat with the other friend's older sister and all of her friends. And so, but I would literally see them over there at the other table, and she's just like this. Oh. She's just like this, like talking, like, you know, like.
and he would just
and
mumble,
then he's just like this.
He would either mumble a response or not say
Same, yeah.
anything, but he would text me all the time, and it bothered the crap out of me.
Yeah.
I hated it. Felt like I was talking in a mirror.
Because you were like this close, and like you were like this, like I could see you
I was
talking
trying
from
to
over here.
talk,
Because like,
and
you,
he
like,
also
do
got
this with your
really
hand.
jealous of the mention
then he
of
was just like
other.
this.
He also got really jealous of the mention of other guys because I mentioned a funny story one day that. His very long last name guy. I'm not gonna say his last name. I mentioned a funny story. Yeah, B said something, and it was really funny in class. So I laughed. I didn't mean it in any way. Like I wasn't like, oh my god, like he's so funny. Like no. I just explained the joke, and he like clearly I can see a shift. Gets upset and is like, yeah, that was funny. Okay, so then eventually I quit sitting with him. That's when I sat with him, and that kind of was how our relationship downfall.
Yeah, I was like, you want to come with us? Or
Yeah, I would make up
something like
excuses.
that.
I would make up excuses, and thank you, Brooke, for being a champ. I would tell him. Brooke really needs to tell me something today. I don't ever see her.
Because
And
we
that-
only had one class, and she sat on the opposite side of the classroom because
But
you
we
got
texted
there.
the whole time.
Yeah, we texted the whole time.
Okay.
When we were
yeah.
supposed to put our phones in the bin. up
Basically,
front.
okay, so person I sat with at lunch told Twin. Twin had the same Spanish class with them. And went and told
Twin didn't
him.
have Spanish with us.
Yes, you did. Because this is, you'll find out information later. I have more information.
Redheaded twin didn't
Yes.
have Spanish with us.
I thought she did. Okay, well, she had some class with him. Well, that night, I don't remember what we had. We had some event going on FFA, and they were both helping out.
Ooh.
And she went and told him the real reason. And I was at my studio dance that night, and I get some very angry, very mean and rude text going, you're lying. Why are you lying? And so then I just tried to deny it. I was like, deny, deny, deny. I hated lying to him, but like, I didn't want him to know the real truth because I didn't want him to feel hurt. So I kept deny, deny, deny. And he was like, well, then why are people saying this? And I was like, you're going to believe her over me, someone you've known and you've trusted, but you're going to believe her over me. And he was like, I can't trust you. You broke my trust. And I was like, well.
By breaking up with you?
I don't know. Well, I also broke up with him twice because I dated him secretly in 7th grade and had to break up with him because I didn't want my parents finding out. And he brought that up still, like holding a grudge. Well, anyways, basically,
7th grade.
I don't even know. He sent me some very angry, rude texts. And eventually I told him, I said, look, I am at dance right now, and you are not ruining my time here. So, no. So then we didn't talk. And he kept making rude comments. And he was telling guys not to date me because I was an awful girlfriend. And I was an awful person. And he just said really rude things. And then it all went down. I went to the Eras Tour movie with Riley and Reagan. And I'm there, and I send him a text just to say hey and check up on him. To be a nice person. And he is immediately rude and immediately goes on and ruins my night. And we had like a full-blown argument, and I did say some things I shouldn't have said, but I get a little hot-headed sometimes, and I'm sorry, but I do. I sometimes, like, if I'm like really angry, but he was making me really angry, and he was flirting with people on my FFA team just to make me mad, just to mess with me and get in my head, and he was just being overall rude. She can tell you this. Well,
True.
the next day after that message, he goes up to Twin and starts showing my messages and calling me an attention seeker and said some really other rude things and called me other things I'm not going to repeat. And yeah, we didn't talk after that. I blocked him.
Mm-hmm.
And it got so,
Rightfully so.
It got so bad that his cousin had to go up to him and be like, you've got to stop. Like, you've got to stop or one of us is going to report you. And then he stopped, and then he continued and went on and dated 5 other girls in the same year.
It was like bam, bam, bam.
No, and like he'd break up with one for a week and then get with the next one. I was like, oh.
And then this one girl literally broke up with her previous boyfriend, and then the next day got with him.
And what's funny is that boyfriend was friends with him. And his cousin goes up to him and goes,
Wait, who's
that's
his cousin
wrong.
again? Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Well, his cousin goes up to him and goes, you're in the wrong. He goes, I don't care. I have a boyfriend. You don't. Well, I have a girlfriend. You don't.
Well, yeah, I don't have a girlfriend.
Well, she was like, he said something along the lines like, I'm in a relationship. You're not. And said some rude comment. And she was like, no, sir. And told his mom.
Oh, period.
So then, during the summer, she finally, she accuses him this next year of coming at the beginning of the year before he met his girlfriend that goes to the other school. So during the summer, she told him maybe it's time to take a break from girls. So he does take a little break, like a little tiny break. Beginning
like
of
a
school
2
comes
weeks.
around, and I don't know how I got brought up in a conversation, but somehow I was brought up. And he goes, yeah, I'm over her now. And his cousin goes, do you still give her dirty looks in the hallway? Do you still go out of your way just to make her mad and try to get on her nerves? And he goes, well, yes, but I'm over her. And she goes, no, you're not. And he goes, okay, well, maybe. Well, then he met this girl from another school, and he finally said a few words to me because we were on the same FFA team, but that was it. And now he's moving, so it doesn't really matter, but I'm never going to text him and be like, I'm never going to text him and be like, hey, remember that time in, like, freshman year? No. It's way
remember
past
whenever
that
you
now.
were a jerk?
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I need to calm down.
I'd say that.
No, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say something else.
Yeah.
But
Oh.
I say some meaner words that I've said about him before. Well, anyways, that's my wonderful fun story about my ex and how awful that was.
This is why we need a podcast.
And he was the reason I was
How
like...
much is it for a podcast?
I don't know. He was the reason I never wanted to get another high school relationship again because I didn't want to go into
Yeah,
that.
she told me for
I'm
like
better
a
now.
long time.
For a long
She
time,
was
I was like, I'm
done.
not. And then I talked to a guy earlier this year, and then he made me also want to go, I'm not ever doing this again. He's a whole different story for a whole different time. But
How do you
basically,
start a podcast?
but basically,
One,
started off good.
develop a podcast concept. 2,
We have a concept.
choose your podcast format. 3, set up podcast recording equipment. 4, choose your podcast software. 5, record your first episode. 6, edit your audio. 7, create podcast artwork. And 8, set up podcast hosting. So wait, let's look at how much it cost.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Guy earlier this year, also really bad, but he started off really good. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then he showed his true colors.
It was at my birthday. Whenever they both told me that they were talking to somebody.
Yeah, whole story is crazy. I'm gonna name drop because I'm figuring you're the only person on here. Don't know if you know him, but his name is Jacob Cockrell. He dated a girl from around here. Other red school around here that's not the one that's... It's closer to us. Well,
Lumberjacks.
oh yeah, that's better.
A few $100s to several thousands.
We don't have that kind of money.
A hobby level podcast might cost $100 to $350.
We still don't have that money. Okay. Well, anyways, I talked to a guy earlier this year from Lumberjack. And he started off really nice. And I used to know when I used to be friends with him, actually. I need to stop, dude. This is when I finally realized you maybe need to stop choosing guys that you used to be friends with. And well, this guy started off nice, and then he was really rude, and anytime I mentioned Taylor Swift at all, like, I could literally be like, oh my god, I'm working on my solo, and I'd be like, mention the song, or I'd say something like I was going to the tour, and he'd be like, ugh, like, I can't believe you're like that, and I was like, he was so rude to me for no reason, and wanted to take up all my time, and Matthew, you know.
Spotify has a thing for podcasts.
I don't know Spotify, so you'll have to check that. Matthew, you know I'm a very busy person. And he wanted to call me 24/7. And then he would get mad or he'd guilt trip me, and that's why I feel like I'm such a dry texter sometimes, because anytime I'd say like just okay, or sometimes
Starting a podcast on Spotify is free to begin with.
Start it.
You
Or-
can upload your... Oh, sorry. Keep going. I'm
Okay.
just reading.
Anytime, like, sometimes I wouldn't know how to respond to something. It says you've read it on Snap. I would, like, sometimes I don't have to respond to everything. And he would get mad if I said just okay to something. He would be like, why are you being so dry? What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. Sometimes that's all that's needed to be said.
And then, or he'd get mad if I went to send a snap of my face. Because sometimes I don't feel the most confident every day. And that's okay.
So basically, you can upload them for free, but like you're gonna have to obviously pay for like your equipment and stuff. But you can upload it.
Reagan's asleep. Didn't Reagan buy
Probably
like
not.
mini maps? Mini like mics?
Yeah, mini mics.
Yeah, well basically, yeah, a guy earlier this year was awful
What
to
would
me
we call
too.
our podcast?
Actually we can't call it Crippled Ankle Squad because Riley's ankle is not crippled. Come up with that later. Yeah.
Continue.
He was really bad. Brooke can also tell you.
True.
Did not treat me well, and then eventually I stopped calling him, and yeah, no. And then he came back like in
Wait, tell like
January.
the fate thing.
The what?
You were like, I'm gonna let fate decide or whatever.
Oh, that's crazy. That was the craziest thing. Actually, I need to put the Dr. Pepper closer because I feel like I don't want to keep sitting up. There we go. Well, basically, I quit talking to him because he sent me a message and basically was like, I really care about you, but I feel like you don't care for me. Well, he sent that. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I was going to the Eras Tour the next weekend, and there's a thing at the Eras Tour where you make a bunch of friendship bracelets. I don't have any on me, alright, show. But you make them so you can trade them with people and you get to know people. It's really fun. And it's like a bunch of girls. It's really fun. Well, I was making them with my sister, and mind you, I was leaving everyone undelivered. Not just him. Everyone, because I was spending quality time with my sisters, and being on my phone is not my priority at all times. Sometimes I have family time. Sorry if he didn't, I guess. Well, I check his message and I go, oh, so I don't know how to respond to this. So I go and I send the message to our group chat, as one does when you don't know how to respond to a message. You call up your gang. And we're trying to come up with a response, and maybe 15 minutes go by, and he goes, wow, nice talking to you too. So then he's disrespectful, and he goes, I feel like you don't value my time. I'm like, well, sometimes I don't always have my phone on me, and I focus on the task at hand. And he was like, well, I get back to you when I'm busy, and I go, well, that's not me, and I feel like you don't respect my decision, and I don't like these backhanded compliments. Like, flat out called him out. Yes?
One thing Amelia is Amelia is a huge family person.
I
Or
am.
like
I'm
she's
like-
always like if she's with like a group of friends or like her family or anybody, she puts her phone down.
This, I'm obviously
she
on
does
my phone,
not,
but
like-
you're still spending quality time.
Yeah, but she doesn't like whenever it's like she doesn't get to see like whenever it's like her actual family, she puts her phone down and like
Yeah,
doesn't
like,
worry
I'm
about her
obviously
phone.
gonna spend time with my family, and I'm not gonna call you or respond to all your messages.
And that was a lot of the times whenever he was like,
And-
"You're not even talking to me."
Yeah,
and
he
she
was
was like,
getting
"I'm
so
literally with my
mad.
family."
Or I'd be doing chores, and I'm not gonna get distracted and get on my phone. He was being ridiculous. So I called him out on it, and as soon as I called him out, like said, quit making backhanded compliments, because I'm not afraid to call a guy out. Just saying. You did something wrong, I'm not afraid to call you out.
True.
True. I would like literally be like, don't you disrespect me. He would claim he was respectful, but he was not. And anyways, afterwards, he was like, I'm so sorry, I'm just really insecure and don't know what to say all the time. Like, shut up. And then I didn't talk to him and left him on red, and then like I felt bad, and like a week later on like Halloween, I've been snapping multiple people. I was snapping my friend Addie, and I was snapping my friend Danny. And I was like, I really don't know. And then I kind of felt bad. Like, I started feeling bad for what I said to him and how I just left him on red and was kind of just like, push off this. And I was like, what if I'm pushing away something I should have worked through? Did you know, sometimes that thought comes into mind, like, what if I needed to work through this?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm praying to God. And then I'm like, you know what? Let's let fate play a little game. So I say, what was it, Danny? If Danny snaps me first, it's a big no, let him go. Oh, that rhymed. If it's Addie,
Your poetry's coming.
was I so poetic earlier?
Wait,
Felt like
you're going.
my little the candle thing.
Oh yes.
And Bryn goes, wow, I don't know what to say about that. Well, anyways, I said if it's Addie, then say yes, I need to go and apologize to him, like right now. As soon as I said that, I kid you not, a second later, I get a notification from my phone, and it was a snap from Danny, and I said, okay, big no, get him out of here.
And
So
doesn't
I
she like
untapped him.
not even like
She
respond?
rarely ever snaps me, let alone fast. And I had just snapped her, so I was like, okay, big sign, get him out of here. Well, anyways,
Gotta go.
I said like, no, well, he comes back in January, and I noticed, it goes, Noah from your contacts has added you in Snap. And I go, huh? He already had a Snap account. I have a whole Google Slides of this. Don't call me crazy. I just wanted the evidence
He's a stalker.
I wanted the evidence in a...
He's obsessed.
I wanted the evidence in one area so people wouldn't call me crazy. Okay. Now that that's settled, I'm not crazy. I just need to be organized. Well, basically, he comes back, and I see this new account, and his avatar is not what it looks like. He had brunette hair and brown eyes. This new avatar, which is him, had blonde hair and blue eyes. So I, out of curiosity and wanting to call him out, I add him back. And first thing I do is he starts sending me, hey, and I also have pictures of this. I have it all on Google Slides, so if that's ever wanted to be seen, you can ask for it. Well, anyways, I start calling him out, and I go, what's with the new avatar? Like, I start asking questions, and, well, first he lies to me, because your Snapchat thing disappears if you haven't used it in over 28 days. Well, he says, I haven't been on it in a really long time, but his old profile still pops up. So lie number 1. Then I go, what's with the new avatar? And he goes, oh, I changed my hair. Well, he sends it. It's not blonde, it's just a lighter brunette. And his eyes obviously didn't change color. And I kid you not, 10 minutes later, he changed his eye color back to brown. After I called him out.
He's catfishing.
I kid you not, I think he was trying to catfish me to get me back. Well, then we go to a basketball game. I perform at a basketball game. I am not on my phone at a basketball game because it's a rule that we're not supposed to. So again, I have him on delivered. What?
I'm just looking through it in our text messages.
That is so you.
I'm pretty sure I said that.
I don't think it.
I'm pretty sure I remember this. I think you were like doing your nails or something. I think both of y'all were doing y'all's nails, and I was like, because I don't do my nails.
Anyways, basically at this basketball game afterwards, his whole TikTok, mind you, was a bunch of Bible verses, except this one post that he posted that night, which says,
"Oh, I remember that.
I love he said something along the lines of, gotta love that feeling when someone doesn't like message you back, or when you care about someone they don't message you back." So directed towards me. And it's the only post like that. It's the only post like that. And so then I finally was like, oh, okay, well, I was going to call him out on it. Then I was like, what if it isn't about me? But I'm like pretty sure it is about me. Well, then I'm working on her, because we did a duet at competition, which we won. Well, anyways, we go practice, and we go to our, her mom works at school. Oh, yeah. One of the worst feelings is...
Oh, yeah, it's backwards. Oops.
Hold up, let me read it. One of the worst feelings is when you feel like you're forcing someone to talk to you. So directed at me.
It's like a sunset.
He posted everything with sunsets. Well, basically, her mom works at a school, and that school has a stage. It's like a younger school. Well, I go with her, and we go to work on our duet on the stage. Well, her mom is dropping me off at home, and he hasn't snapped me at all, which is weird, because normally he snaps me after school, but he hasn't. The second I got home, he snaps me. So I was thinking he was stalking my location, because I have my location on for friends, just in case, like, it's good to have your location for your friends.
She flipped us off.
Oh, I remember y'all commented on that. It's good to have friends have your location so they know where you are in case you're in trouble and stuff. Or just to be funny, because I've had friends message me about funny things if I'm in a random place. Oh. Yeah. The area had changed his eye color.
This is what he changed his contact to.
That's not him. That is not him. If I showed a picture, that is not him. And so basically, after I realized he stalked my location, the next night I was with my friends Danny and Addie, same friends, and we're on the way to dinner after I was working on my solo with them, because Addie was doing a solo too, and Danny's already graduated, but she was helping us and like looking at them and cleaning them. We go to dinner, and on the way there, I basically blocked him on every single platform and said he needs to get out. And yep, yeah. And then went to Angelina County and I met Matthew. Doing a good job.
No red flags.
Oh yeah. Noah and Jacob. Oh my god. I make fun of Reagan.
Third time's the charm.
I make fun of Reagan. I make fun of Reagan for the guys she dates and decides to choose. But here was what
Oh my
I had
gosh,
to deal with.
this guy. Oh wait, we already talked about this.
We are not going
We already talked about this.
to. Yeah, but I make fun of the things she chooses. This
His
is
red
what I
flag
went
is that
through.
he's too many green flags. Third
Yeah,
time.
Matthew knows what I said. Well, she was like pushing this great guy away. I saw a great guy away, and she goes she goes, does he have any red flags? She goes, his red flag is he has too many green flags.
Is she even trying to make a pros and cons list?
Well, we
The
did
pros
that.
were like.
Well, actually, correction, with her ex that she broke up with, we did a pros and cons list, and his only 2 pros was that he wasn't even good looking. I don't even know why she put that on there. Was that he was good looking and he was on a varsity team as a freshman, which was his entire personality, mind you. But the rest of it was all red flags. He was the most awful person. I call him the freaky gay ex, and the other one's just the gay ex.
Her type is gay.
She's attracted to gay guys. Well, she's attracted to straight guys.
No, I told her. Oh my gosh, I told her yesterday, and I was like, I was telling another girl on our team, and I was like, her type is red flags, and she said, no, my type is rainbow flags.
I remember that was there. She also likes to say, a red flag is okay if it's heart shaped. No. Actually, I told him that yesterday, that she says that a lot.
It doesn't work like that, honey.
But, yeah.
Hey, a green flag could be a $sign.
But she goes today when she was talking about the green flags, she goes, actually, I just think I don't like green flags. And then, remember when she tried to say that him being homeschooled was a red flag, and we all went, how is being homeschooled a red flag?
Bro, that's literally.
And then she was like, wait, actually, that's
It's like
a
this
green
color
flag.
green.
Yeah, and then she was like, wait, actually, that's a green flag because then that means he's not looking at other girls. And I was like, oh my god.
It also means he's not corrupt. She was trying so hard to justify her point.
And then she was like, I can't text him tonight because I texted him first last night.
Where's her phone?
Wait. Oh, go grab it.
No, it's right there.
Where?
It's under her pillow.
She.
Well, probably because the light's on. It's almost 1:30 in the morning. Wait, I know her password. She said like 30 minutes ago she was taking a power nap. I know her password. Wait, B-roll. I have B-roll. You had so many updates on it. I actually looked at it
because
like,
I haven't had
I
B-roll
looked at it
downloaded
like
in over
I
a
looked
year.
at it like yesterday.
Oh my god, you need to go find that photo of me and you making fun of Jacob's profile on Be Real in your car.
Oh my gosh.
Where's
Look, like now you can like set your B-rolls like public if you want to.
Where's he at?
Let's look at our old ones.
He really didn't know the trick.
Don't.
I'm gonna put it back. She'll never know I cried.
Let's look at our 8th grade B-rolls.
It's not in 8th grade, I don't think.
Yep,
It was in 8th grade. Wait, no, it wasn't. It was
No.
after we broke up. It was freshman.
No, I was just saying let's go look at our 8th grade. Wait, when we posted
We
one?
posted. No, we didn't post it. We took
Oh.
it and we sent it
I don't have
to
one.
Reagan beginning of last year.
We have so many lunch B-rolls.
Hey, actually, I'm gonna get off and get back on so we can have our comments on. Okay?
Or you can just, if you just want to call him.